I know that you've been in constant communication with many of these doctors. First of all, thanks for joining us here on the stream. I know that it's probably been a very exhausting day for you. You're from Ukraine. How are you feeling at this time?
I think just like most of the other Ukrainians, I'm feeling surprised because we saw what Russia is capable of in 2014, but frankly, I think no one expected such a degree of cowardness, right? They've been repeating for a month or two before attacking Ukraine that they're absolutely not going to attack Ukraine, right? So it is confusion, it is anger, but most of all, again, I care for all the people who are there in Ukraine now. There are my relatives there. There are our employees there. There are all the people of Ukraine. We are trying to figure out ways to help them to the extent that we can.
So just walk me through what many of their days have looked like, what they've described to you, what they've seen, what they've heard through the hours, through the past day.
Yeah, I heard from many people, and actually many of the Ukrainian cities were bombarded. Russia started the day with missile attacks to the critical objects of Ukrainian infrastructure. And many people wrote us that they woke to the sounds of explosions. And then some of the cities were not attacked yet. So people, at least in the morning before they understood what is going on the global scale, they were still feeling relatively safe. But some of the people thought about evacuating right away. We have, I think, around 10 of the doctors who are working with us in Ukraine moving towards the western regions of Ukraine. But at the same time, we have some of our employees who are volunteering currently in the hospitals. So obviously someone chooses to stay and help the military, help to rescue the wounded people. Overall, the situation is very chaotic in Ukraine right now, but in fact, the more organized we are, the better we can resist these Russian attacks, obviously.
So, Oleksandr, we're taking a look at video of evacuations from earlier today. You said some of the doctors are evacuating, that you know, some are sticking around. The ones who are sticking around, what do they have to say? Is it escalating even more? Do they anticipate many more fatalities?
Yeah, I think that within the next few days, there will be many more fatalities from both sides. I know that this morning, some of the hospitals in Ukraine started asking, the locals started asking people to donate their blood. So everyone is trying to get ready, because I think it is a matter of time when things get even more serious than they are now.
What is the need right now for people who are probably watching across the United States and viewers around the globe as well? How can anyone help out during this? To my knowledge, the National Bank of Ukraine opened the account to which people can donate money to help Ukraine to protect themselves. And in addition to this, the countries neighboring of Ukraine are ready to accept refugees, which helps a lot. Obviously, there is no question of, direct intervention of any other country, but to the extent that you can support Ukraine with
donations for the individuals or with defensive weapons for the other countries. I think we needed to save the peace in the world, right? Because I don't think that at this point anyone believes that Putin is going to stop after, or if he succeeds in Ukraine. He will go further. It is a matter of time. There are ex-Soviet countries which he doesn't consider to be countries, just like Ukraine. There are other countries of the former Eastern Bloc, like Poland, for example. So I think that if Putin succeeds in Ukraine, then no one will be feeling safe. And it is important to emphasize that I'm saying Putin will succeed in Ukraine, not Russians, because I know that there are lots of protests in Russia right now against the war. In fact, I am myself half Ukrainian and half Russian, so I don't think that this is a question of nationality. It is a question of the choice, maybe not even the choice. It is this terrible, delusional dictator and the people brainwashed by him against the whole civilized humanity.
Describe what it's like when you're in conversation with these doctors. What is the tone of their voice? What is their plea right now? And do they still have pride in Ukraine amid all of this?
Yeah, I think everyone does their best to help to protect Ukraine. At the same time, I feel that many of those people are confused. The most scary thing is probably uncertainty right now. Everyone knows that terrible things can come because, again, we've witnessed the actions of Russia and the way the Russians approach the ethical side of the work in Syria, for example, right? They are not, they don't care about the civilians. They don't care about people in general. And both Russian people and the people whom they are attacking. So I think it is confusion, first of all, but then people are supporting each other a lot. I know that people are helping their neighbors. If someone requires transportation to the safe place, if someone wants their wives and kids to be safe, then people are helping with that. And I know that people in the neighboring countries, including Poland and Hungary, and the Baltic countries, are ready to accept Ukrainian refugees. And many people in the whole Europe now, there are protests near Russian embassies and consulates. So people are not just, sitting idle. They are trying to do whatever they can.
And we do, looks like we had something pop up on our feeds here. President Zelensky speaking out right now, the Ukrainian president who has maintained the want and the need for Ukrainian people to feel peace and unity at this time. Your response to President Zelensky through the past couple of days, through the weeks, with his communication to the Ukrainian people?
I think that it is really important for the Ukrainian people to have the figure to gather around, right? I know that the last presidential elections in Ukraine were somewhat divisive for the country, but currently that we saw the reaction of the president towards the threat, I think that it is a worthy man, to lead the defense of the country. And it is important to have a leader. It is important to have the reliable source of information. And I think that currently the Ukrainian governmental institutions are doing an excellent job of providing reliable information to the people of Ukraine and to the people in the whole world. Because let's not forget that one of the ways that Russia wages war is the information war, right? They have been pumping the world with lies for years. And it is very important for every one of us to develop critical thinking, to check to validate the messages from the media, to understand what is true, what is not. Again, for example, the claims of Russians that in Ukraine the Russian-speaking people were oppressed. It is absolutely false. I know many people who speak Russian and who will defend Ukraine with arms in their hands. I myself, I mean, my first language long time ago was Russian. I'm speaking Ukrainian within my family with my wife and kids, but I'm thinking in Russian. And I can absolutely guarantee that no one, neither in the east of Ukraine nor in the west of Ukraine, is oppressed for using Russian language.
Yeah, the pride in both of these countries has been definitely a major playing point for this, and we just want to report to everyone in those statements from President Zelensky. He said they want to destroy Ukraine politically by destroying the head of state. We have information that enemy sabotage groups have entered Kyiv. He says that he will remain in the capital despite these imminent attacks. He says the enemy sabotage forces have entered the capital. Me and my family are remaining. Your response?
Yeah, again, I think partially I'm proud that currently in this time we have this president who is willing to fight back. I'm not sure how many families and children of Russian politicians are currently in Russia, for example. And yeah, I think again it is worth uniting, and if we want to have a chance to defend ourselves, and by ourselves I don't only mean Ukraine, I mean again all the democratic world, unity is our own choice.
Yep. Unity is definitely the choice of all of the people who are having no choice at this point with the invasion underway. Any last thoughts as this continues here? Any message to the people who maybe have never been to Ukraine, are getting first introduced to this conflict underway with Russia and Ukraine? Last thoughts here.
Yeah, I think that historically, Ukraine has been a very peaceful country. Ukrainians are really friendly people. And those who were in Ukraine, I think they can all confirm that. And we are now in a situation that we have to protect ourselves. I think it is important to emphasize that the sentiment of Ukrainians towards Russia before 2014 was very, very positive. And the claims that you sometimes hear from Russians that it is Ukraine that is the source of this war. This is absolutely not true. In fact, the Ukrainian government and the presidents of Ukraine, both Poroshenko and Zelensky, have been using every available means to peacefully resolve the conflict, even though the essence of the conflict is that Russia invaded Ukraine, but currently we are in a situation that we have to defend ourselves. And I think that here in defending ourselves, we really defend all the world against Russia, because they absolutely, they will not stop at it. So I would ask everyone who can help, either with, again, donating money to protect Ukraine, or with sending help. I know that Germany was going to send the field hospitals, etc.
Right.
Any kind of help would be useful, would be appreciated. And again, by protecting Ukraine now, you're protecting the, well, maybe even our civilization in the long run, because obviously Putin doesn't imagine the consequences, the long-term consequences of what he's doing. Apparently, he's currently delusional, and this attack is an indication of that.
Oleksandr Zakharchuk, thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. We appreciate you. We'll be thinking about all of those doctors that are out on the ground in Ukraine, helping the people and trying to stay safe themselves.
Thank you.